Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to be bringing you guys my updated Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile today for the 2021 format. If you guys are excited, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also leave a like on the video because it always helps to grow the channel here. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright guys, welcome to the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile I have for you today. So starting off in our main deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. I decided to go with the starter deck Kaiba artwork because that's my favorite. And yeah, since this is a Blue Eyes deck, he's your boss monster, you gotta play 3 copies of him. Then we're going to be playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. And he's really simple to play. If you draw him, you just reveal the blue eyes in your hand, you can special summon him to the field, and then once a turn you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it, but then he just can't attack that turn. Next we're playing 2 copies of Dragon Spirit of White. So the reason we play him is because whenever he's special summoned to the field, you can target one spell or trap card on your opponent's side of the field and banish it, so it's good for getting any kind of spells and traps off the field and out of the game. And it's also another Blue Eyes target for different searches and different monster effects in the deck. Then we play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. So the reason we play 3 of her is because when she's normal summoned, you can add a level 1 light tuner from your deck to your hand. And then also, if you have an effect monster on your field, you can target it with this card and then send it to the graveyard and special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So that's a good way to get out the Dragon Spirit of White that I mentioned earlier. A fast way to special summon them to the field. You can also get out a Blue Eyes White Dragon if you want to go into any rank 8 Xyz plays as well. Then we play 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. And the reason we play 3 copies of this is because it's another level 1 tuner. Also, when it's sent to the graveyard at the end of your turn, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So again, that's a great way to get out Dragon Spirit of White. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to return a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard to your hand, so it's a good way to help recur and get Blue Eyes back in the game. Then we're playing 2 copies of the White Stone of Legend. It's pretty simple with this card. It's another level 1 light tuner. Also, whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. So if you have like alternative in your hand but no Blue Eyes, you can send this to the graveyard with either Sage with Eyes of Blue or a different card, and then you can grab a Blue Eyes, reveal the Blue Eyes, special summon your alternative White Dragon, and just keep making plays from there. Then we play 2 copies of Maiden with Eyes of Blue, simply because she's another level 1 light tuner, and when you target her with card effects or she is attacked, you can negate the attack, switch her to defense mode, and then you can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it's just another extender. It's a good way to get Blue Eyes back into the game, and also help make any synchros that you're trying to make, like Zurai's Silver Dragon. Then we're playing 2 copies of Keeper of Dragon Magic. The reason why we're playing him is because you can discard a card, add Polymerization to your hand, and I am running 2 copies of that in the deck. He's also an 1800 attack monster, so he's decent for a normal summon as well. And you can also send him from the field to the graveyard with the effect of Sage of Eyes to special summon a Blue Eyes monster. So that always helps out. And also you can reveal a fusion monster too from your extra deck and special summon one of its materials from your graveyard in face down defense position. So if you want to get a Blue Eyes back to your field, this is another fast way to do that as well. Then for some of the one-ofs, we're playing 1 copy of Keeper of the Shrine, simply because whenever a dragon monster is destroyed by battle or a card effect, and you have this card in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon it to the field in defense mode, and then you can get that destroyed dragon back into your hand. We're also playing 1 copy of Galactic Spiral Dragon, because if you control 2 or more light monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard in defense mode, and then also you can make all monsters you control level 8, so that's good for our rank 8 Xyz plays that we have. and also it can be helpful to make any level 9 Synchros that you might be using in your extra deck. And for the hand traps, we're playing 1 copy of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, and 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Moving on to the spells and traps in the main deck, for your draw power, we're playing 3 copies of Trade-In here. Simply, you just discard a level 8 monster from your hand, you get to draw 2 cards, so with all the different abilities to add Blue Eyes back into your hand, and then send them back to the graveyard and keep doing that process, this is an easy card to use in your deck to keep drawing cards. We're also playing 1 copy of Card of Consonance because we're playing a couple different level 1 dragon tuners, so you just send one of them from your hand to the graveyard and you can draw 2 cards. And then we're also playing Upstart Goblin, so for the extra 1 card. Then for monster destruction, we are playing Raigeki. And for special summoning from the graveyard, we're playing 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Silver's Cry, and 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. So what's great about this card is you can target a level 7 or 8 dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if a dragon monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it acts as a built-in protection for your Dragon Spirit of White if you want to bring that back, or if you want to bring back a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard. Then to help out with our fusions, we're playing 1 copy of the Claw of Hermos because we are running Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword in our extra deck. And then we're also running 2 copies of Polymerization, as I mentioned earlier. Then we're also running the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So what's great about this card is you can discard 1 card and add up to 2 different dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack from your deck to your hand. So this is a good way to get Blue Eyes from your deck into your hand, and you can also send either the White Stone of Legend off of this card or the White Stone of Ancients off of this card and then activate their effects. Then we're also playing 1 copy of Foolish Burial and 1 copy of Dragon Shrine to help send different cards to the graveyard. So Dragon Shrine is great because if you send a dragon type monster from your deck to the graveyard, if it was a normal monster, you can send 1 more dragon type monster to the graveyard as well. So that's a good way if you want to send like a Blue Eyes and then send out one of your stones and then trigger their effect. And then for spell and trap removal, we're playing 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster and 2 copies of Twin Twister. And lastly, for the traps, we're playing 3 copies of Solemn Strike. So if your opponent wants to special summon a monster or activate a monster effect, you just pay 1,500 life points and you can negate it and then destroy that card. And that's going to wrap up the main deck for you guys. So now we will move on into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, like I mentioned, since we're playing the Claw of Hermos, we're playing 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. The reason why we're playing this card is because you can target 1 face-up monster on your field and equip this card to it. It'll gain 1,000 attack, and then it'll also gain 500 attack and defense for each dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard. So when you're playing an entire deck basically full of dragons, this is a good way to give your Blue Eyes some extra attack power. Then we're also playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. The reason why we're playing 2 of him is because he's a really strong 4,500 attack monster, and your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects. And then also, once per turn, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. If this card was fusion summoned with Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, you can target up to 3 cards your opponent controls and destroy them instead of just 1. But unfortunately, he can't attack them the turn that he activates that effect. Then to round out our fusions, we're playing 1 copy of Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon and 1 copy of 5-Headed Dragon. So the 5-Headed Dragon's in here just because you're playing a lot of different dragons, so it's easy to play him. And he's also a 5,000 attack monster. Blue Eyes Twin Burst is in here because he can be special summoned to the field if you have 2 Blue Eyes on it. Can make up to 2 attacks during the battle phase, and after he's done attacking, if the monster he attacked is not destroyed, you can banish it from the field. Moving on to our Synchros, we're playing 2 copies of Vermilion Dragon Mech. Reason why we're playing him is he's a level 9 Synchro, so it's easy to make the Synchro plays. And also you can banish 1 tuner from your graveyard to destroy 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. Then we're playing 1 copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and 2 copies of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Azure Eyes Silver Dragon's pretty simple. You get him out on the field. At the start of your standby phase, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard to your side of the field. Plain and simple. And Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is great because he can negate 1 effect that's activated in your opponent's graveyard once per turn. or you can tribute him off to special summon one Light Dragon Synchro monster in defense position from your extra deck. So if your opponent goes to try to attack and destroy him, you can tribute him off and then special summon out Azure-Eyes Silver Dragon. Then moving on to our Xyz monsters, we're playing one copy of Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, 2 copies of Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, and 1 number 22 Zombie Stein. So the main reason why I'm playing number 22 Zombie Stein, he's a 4500 attack monster. He does require 2 level 8 Dark type monsters, and I have a couple of different danger monsters in my extra deck, so that's why I do have him in here. And then also with Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, you can tribute any number of monsters from your hand or your side of the field to destroy an equal number of that many cards on the field, so it's another way to destroy any of your opponent's monsters or spells and traps. And then Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, he's a 4000 attack monster, and once per turn you can detach 1 Xyz material from him to target and destroy 1 face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. And lastly, for our extra deck, we're playing 1 copy of Soyuja Skull Dread, simply because he helps you draw more cards. Moving on to the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of DD Crow. You can discard this card to the graveyard and then target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. So if they have any kind of a monster where their effect would trigger in the graveyard, it's a good way to get it out of the game. Then we're playing 1 copy of Evenly Matched. So at the start of your battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down so that they have the same number as you do. So it's a good way to simply get rid of more of your opponent's cards and minimize the field. Then we are also playing 1 copy of Karma Cut. The reason why I have this is because you can discard a card to remove 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. So it's a good way to send one of your White Stone of Legends or White Stone of Ancients from your hand to the graveyard and then activate their effects. And you also get the added bonus of removing 1 of your opponent's monsters. Then we're playing 2 copies of Crackdown, so that if your opponent has something that you just can't beat, this card lets you take control of it, basically. And we're also playing 1 copy of Solemn Judgment to block any special summon or spell or trap effect that your opponent might activate. Moving on to the monsters in the extra deck, like I mentioned, we're playing a couple different danger cards. So we play 2 copies of Danger Thunderbird because it's a level 8. And we also play 3 copies of Danger Bigfoot because he's also a level 8. We're playing 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. If you banish 3 light monsters from your graveyard, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense position. So you could get rid of your smaller stone cards or your Maiden with Eyes of Blue or your Sages, and then you can get Blue Eyes back to the field. And then we're also playing in a 2nd copy of Galactic Spiral Dragon because, like I mentioned earlier, he's easy to special summon to the field when you're playing with an entire deck of light monsters, and he can turn all your monsters on the field into level 8. So if you want to do a level 9 Synchro play, or if you want to go for a level 8 Rank Xyz play, that works out well. And then lastly, we are playing 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So you just banish 1 dragon monster on your field, you can special summon him, and then once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard. So it's a good way to keep bringing your Blue Eyes back into the game. So yeah, that's going to wrap up the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a like. And feel free to share out the content with other people because we're always looking to grow here on the channel. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one.